Well, you know, sometimes the internet doesn't quite work the way you want it to, and today's one of those days, so we're 2 minutes behind, but we are going to get started here with Live with Lynn on Sunday at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you're looking at your watch and you're thinking it's 5 o'clock, that's because you're on the East Coast. What can I say? I want to post one thing here real quick, if I get my computer to work, and it's acting up on me, so what the heck. I want to post the links to stuff that we're going to talk about today. And so we've got to get this to go. And then I'm just giving people time to get logged on. So as you get logged on, be sure and say hello. Say hi. Let me know you're there so I can see you. And then be sure and do the thumbs if you like what you're seeing, and the hearts, because that helps me get this out. It helps it to be sent out to other people that way. And my computer will not move down. I don't know why. Here we go. All right, here we are. Now, if I can, I'm just going to have to do it afterwards. It's not letting me. I don't understand why, just because, you know, things just don't always work the way you want it to when you want it to, right? Because that's the way technology is. But while we're waiting on everybody to get online, I wanted to tell you a couple things. You know, I've been doing the answering questions kind of stuff, and in doing so, I'm going to post the links to the things we're going to talk about today. I'm going to post it like posting a message to you rather than with the video itself. So that way you'll get that. And I believe that went online. I'm not sure. My computer's doing really strange things. It's going, what? And I'm like, what? Me too. I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry. Anyway, I wanted to tell you, my daughter-in-law, Abby Salvador, and my son, William Salvador, are the sweetest two people, and I like pigs because I think they're cute. And they give me stuff that has pigs on it all the time. So this past Christmas, they sent me this little paperweight. It's this little pink pig. Isn't that the cutest thing you ever saw in your life? I know, it really is. It's just darling. Thank you, Abby. I love that. And then like last year, they sent me, hey, George, good to see you. Last year, they sent me this. Now, you're like, what is that? Well, what this is it's a USB port. You plug it in the computer, and then the little piglets come out, and it lets you plug 3 USBs into your computer, so you could be charging those things, or you could be loading them into your computer, whatever. This is the cutest thing ever. But they just find the cutest things. I also have this one thing that I keep in my bathroom. And it's going to be backwards to you when I show it to you, but I want you to see this. Isn't that the cutest thing? The 2 little pigs in a barrel. And it says, save water, bathe with a friend. Isn't that darling? I know. I love it. It's in my bathroom. And now, I kind of got over my pig fetish for a while there. And I still love my pigs, but I got too many little ceramic pigs and it was too much, and so you have to change your decorations in your kitchen once in a while, right? So I thought, well, I'll do chefs, because chefs got real popular and I saw them in the stores and stuff. Well, then I found a chef pig. Oh my God, I know, it's the cutest thing. So this is my little chef pig, and he actually does stand in my kitchen. He stands guard, and he has this little wooden spoon that he holds, and I find this in my wooden spoon drawer every so often, and I have to put it back in his hand. And then he has this little rag here, so he's ready to clean up whenever need be. But isn't that the most darling thing? And see his little tail, it's just so cute. I know, he's precious. I love him. So he keeps guard over my kitchen stuff. Keeps me from burning things. My mother used to give me once upon a time, my mother gave me this kitchen witch, and you're supposed to hang it up in your kitchen. It's supposed to keep your pots from boiling over and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess it worked. I don't think so. Typically, you know dinner's ready because the smoke alarm goes off, but you know, that's just kind of how it is. So anyway, today what we're going to do is I've got some announcements to make, and the biggest announcement that I need to make, and this is my own fault, it's nobody's fault but my own, it's just life and time got away from me. I'm going to have to postpone the publication of Clone Chaos. I know, groan. But it's okay because I would rather take the time to get it published and have it be as excellent as I can make it, rather than to publish it too soon and there's all kinds of typos and grammar problems and all that, and that would be my fault, not the people who helped clean up all of my stuff. My grammar Nazi, Cindy Rule, you're wonderful and I love you so much. So it's my own fault. But anyway, we're going to postpone it to give ourselves time to get it ready and get it online, and we're going to publish it in May, the first part of May. And then I'm going to change the release party to May 6th. Now, I was going to do it April 6th because that's my husband's birthday, but May 6th is my sister Mary's birthday. So we'll do it in honor of Mary Polly, my sister. And it's a computer pig. How cool. Yeah, I know. I don't know where they found that. They my daughter-in-law Abby and my son William actually work at Walmart, so it may be that they saw it there. She's like a manager and he works in the back and I don't know, bosses people around. I don't know what they do, but anyway, they both work there. They find the cutest things. So where were we? Okay, so I do apologize to everyone for those of you who are anxiously waiting for the sequel to Fertility Pirates. It's going to be delayed just a month, and then when it does get to you, I hope you'll enjoy reading it, because then it's not going to be full of typos and grammar problems and all of that. So we can get it all nice and cleaned up and get it to you as excellent as it should be, right? So, but we've got the cover, you know that. You've seen the cover already. If you've forgotten what it looks like, go back to my author page, and I'll post that link here in a little bit, and you'll be able to see it. So, the other really big news is that I got my first quarterly newsletter out. So, if you have signed up for the newsletter, you got it. If you didn't get it, let me know, because I need to know that. Hi, Tracy. Great to see you. Let me know if you did not get the newsletter and you have signed up for it, because then there's a problem on my end and I need to figure out what that is. But on the newsletter, I have an agenda in front of me and I need to pull it up because I need to follow it. On the newsletter, I let everybody know about some story ideas that I have. And I gave a little synopsis of each of those stories. And I asked you guys, hi Tracy, and I asked you guys to let me know which of those you would like to see me write next, just so I kind of know what to go to next, because I've got, gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 ideas that could be the next story. So now, also, next month, which is April 1st, there's a thing called National Novel Writing Month, and we abbreviate that to NaNoWriMo. So if you hear people talking about NaNoWriMo, it's National Novel Writing Month. And what it is for 1 month, for those 31 days, whatever, I guess it's 30 days, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of different authors sign up for this NaNoWriMo, and it's just an incentive to get stuff done. And we try to write about 50,000 words in that 1 month. So it's butt in chair, keep writing, don't go back and proofread, just keep writing. And it's really great because it gets that first draft done, and then you can go back and polish it up later. So I've signed up for NaNoWriMo for April, and I'm going to try to complete 2 books in a series that I'm going to start then. That's when I'm going to start it. And it's called Java Cupid. And I talked about that earlier. I talked about Java Cupid. I told you the idea of it, but I wanted to tell you about it again. So basically, Java Cupid is people that go to this Java Hut to get coffee. And they use the Wi-Fi and they study and they get caffeinated and all that stuff, right? So a heat-sensitive message shows up on their cup. And a relationship begins with whom they think wrote the message on the cup. But it turns out that the baristas have nothing to do with it. It's a Java Cupid who's in the back that's setting people up, and he has kind of a sixth sense about who needs to be with who. So anyway, I've got about 3 ideas, so that'll be 3 books that I'm going to publish, and then those are going to get published as soon as I can get them ready to go. So that'll actually be this summer, which I'm pretty excited about that. But along that same line, because that starts this Saturday, I need your help. And so I've decided to make it a contest. So what I need your help with is to go to Lynn Donovan's Readers Group. If you're not already a member, and I'll post you the link for that too, sign up for that group. And what I need is a list of names, just names, like first name, last names, just first name, just last name, whatever. Whatever you think is a really cool name, give that to me. And if I use it, then your name is going to be put in a hat, and we're going to draw a name, and that name's going to win a $10 gift certificate from Amazon, because I need your help that badly. I've gone through all my friends, I've gone through all my grandkids, I've gone through all my everybody that I know. I've used everybody's name. So I'm running out of names, so I need you guys to help me and give me some names. And that'll be fun, and then you'll see the names in there, because Tracy, you remember I did in the last gasp, I did you and your husband's name. So anyway, people find themselves in my books all the time, so it's a warning if you're a friend of mine. So like I said, I had three books planned, but I'm going to try to do 2 of them during the NaNoWriMo. So that will work really well. Now, I've talked to you before about this, that there are 3 of us authors who are we're still working on the Phantom Horse Bridge series. And thank you, Pastor George. I appreciate you posting that for me. Anyway, we're working on the Phantom Horse Bridge series, and it's me and Pastor George McVeigh and Robin Dieter. And we're going to publish these starting September 15th. We'll publish 1 a week, and then for 3 weeks, and then we'll publish 1 every 3 weeks. And we have 9 books total that we're going to be doing. I've completed 2 of the 3 books that I'm committed to. And so they've asked me to go ahead and start working on something else, and so that's the reason why I'm going to do the NaNoWriMo with the Java Cupid. But I'm trying to get my feet wet with this contemporary romance. You know, I'm moving out of Christian fiction and into secular fiction with contemporary romance, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. It's still clean reads. You know, it's not gratuitous anything. More PG-13, maybe a clean PG-13. Sometimes PG-13 kind of alarms me also, but it's a clean read. It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's getting out of my comfort zone and doing something I haven't done before, but I'm really enjoying it, and the writing is flowing, and it's great, and so all is well. So speaking of that series, the Phantom Horse Bridge series, we have a contest going over there also. We have a character in here named Leanne Gladstone. She has 3 degrees from the Cordon Bleu Culinary Arts College, University, whatever. And she has 3 degrees, and she's a brilliant chef. And so we're going to put together a cookbook of what we're calling her recipes. And you will see us talk about her dishes in the stories. And so what we want to do is we want to have a contest, and we want you to submit your ideas, your recipes for your fancy schmancy dishes, and maybe not so fancy schmancy, because good old, home cooking, good old comfort food, that's some of what she specializes in Gladstone, Colorado, which is being changed to Phantom Horse, Colorado, because, the mayor wants to change the name to promote the paranormal investigation. Anyway, so we're going to put together a recipe book, and we want your input. So if you will, we've got a link for that also. We've actually made a Facebook page that's called Citizens of Phantom Horse. And so you can go there, and we're going to post a link. If Pastor George hadn't done it already, I think he has. So we're going to post a link to that, and go on there and give us some of your recipes. And the contest will be that if we use your recipe, we will give you credit for it, and you get the fun of seeing your dish mentioned in one of our stories. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, here's the link right here. Pastor George is posting it to the Facebook group. So that's going to be fun. Go on there. We're going to get on there. We're going to talk about characters. We're going to show pictures that we think of what our characters look like, because we've been developing all that. We have a character spreadsheet and that helps the three of us keep everything consistent, you know. Hey Karen, good to see you. Kevin, good to see you. He is my favorite ranger from one of our campsites that we go to, and it's so great to have you on. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. Anyway, so we want you to submit your favorite recipe. We will post the link, which we already did actually. And I just think this is going to be a lot of fun, and you'll get to see your recipe online in the book, and then you'll get to you'll have credit for it when we publish the book. It's going to actually be a book that we're publishing. It's going to be separate from the series, and it probably is going to. Is it going to be a free giveaway, Pastor? Let me know, Pastor George. I think that's how we're going to do it. So anyway, it's going to be available with the series in it. That's going to be really cool to see and to have and to do all that stuff. Okay, let's see. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I've always read something to you. So what I'm going to do now is the second book that I wrote is, it's about Samantha Gladstone, and the name of the book is Phantom Lessons. Samantha Gladstone is a 4th through 6th grade teacher at Gladstone Elementary. She's one of many, this is the synopsis, by the way. She is one of many people in Gladstone who have experienced the phantom horse and rider known as Grandpa Harold. Problem is, her experience was a lot different from everyone else's. While every single person in her hometown tells a tale of how Grandpa Harold rescued them and saved their life, her experiences were terrifying. The nightmares plagued her all of her life. And now there's a paranormal investigation team in town dredging up all of her memories she has suppressed into a little manageable box in the back of her mind. So that kind of gives you an idea what the story back. Now what I'm going to read to you is the prologue. And this prologue is Samantha's story. Let me get a drink of water. I'm going to touch my computer there. My computer screen was telling me something about my memory, and I was tired of seeing that little box in front of my face. Okay, here we go. Prologue. Samantha's story. "Get away from me," little Samantha Gladstone screamed. The huge black horse reared high above her head, slicing its hoofs through the air. If just one hoof came down on her, it would slice her to bits. The hoofs looked sharp as broken glass. The fascinating fireflies she had followed into the woods had all gathered and swooped and swirled until they transformed into the black horse's mane, flowing with his movement as if they were blowing in the breeze or floating in the water. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time, but there was no wind, and he wasn't in water. What lifted the horse's mane, Samantha's 5-year-old brain couldn't fathom, nor why the rider tried to trample her. She had no clue. Sam watched the fireflies, mesmerized by their beautiful glowing light, until they took formation of the horse's neck, on the horse's neck, and then the entire horse rose up on his hind legs out of the darkness where he had not been a moment before. Towering above her short stature, he was horrifying. I knew that would happen. See, I'm the only one here. Paul's at work. I don't have anyone to run interference, so therefore the dogs start barking. Sorry. Let's see. Fascination turned to raw fear, and her palms... Hold on. She backed up, then turned to run, tripping over roots. losing her shoes, skinning her knees and her palms, tearing her jeans and shredding her t-shirt. Every time she fell, the horse was upon her, rearing above her. She scrambled to her feet and ran harder. Fear was all she understood, and so she ran. She'd lost sight of her sister in the campfire. Daddy had barked some orders about "watch your little sister" to Nancy, but he didn't tell Sammy what to do. Mommy was sick, really sick, and Daddy took her into the tent. Sammy was twirling and watching her shadows made by the firelight, and then she noticed the swarm of light bugs. She walked away from Nancy and followed the amazing sight. Now she ran for her life. From tree to tree she tried to hide, but he came alongside her, and she'd take off running from him. It felt like he was toying with her. It was a horrible game, and she hated it, and she hated him. He was a mean man for letting his horse chase her like this. She was lost, and all she wanted was her mommy and her daddy. She screamed for them, but no one heard her. She screamed for Nancy. Still nothing. She fell over a root, and her face scraped into the leaves and the dirt, and her cheek burned, and her hair had all kinds of sticks and dry leaves in it. She tried to brush it out, but there he was, so she ran. She was barefoot now, and her feet burned. They were bleeding. Her palms were bleeding too. She cried. Where was Daddy, and why didn't he find her and stop Grandpa Harold from chasing her? He swung up close to her left side, and she screamed at him, "Go away!" And she ran to her right. He'd swing up close to her right side, and she'd turn to her left. Would this ever end? She was going to die out here alone and afraid. Grandpa Harold's horse was going to trample her into the ground, and she'd be dead and cold and alone. Then she saw some lights, and she heard the adults talking on radios. She ran to them, screaming, "Help me! He's chasing me! Make him stop!" She ran across the Phantom Horse Bridge. It hurt her feet, and they were already so sore. Her tears poured, and slobber ran down her chin, and she cried and she cried. Suddenly she was caught by a woman's arms. She blindly slammed into her. The woman held Sammy close to her bosom and stroked her hair, and she repeated over and over, "Shh, it's all right. You're safe now. No one can hurt you. Shh." Sammy looked into the woman's face, and she seemed to float away down a dark tunnel. Everything faded. Sammy fell back in her arms, and all the people's voices and the noise faded too. Then nothing. Someone called her name. "Sammy." She opened her eyes. Nancy and Harry and Leanne were holding her and hugging her so tight. Nancy cried and cried and kissed her face. She kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "Hi, Diane. Good to see you." Why was Nancy sorry? It was Sammy who wandered off to see the light bugs. She didn't know why Nancy was sorry, but right now she didn't care. She was back with her sister and her cousins. Dogs. Lucy Christine was there too. They were friends in school, and the girls all cried, and even Harry, although he was 8 years older than her, seemed relieved Sammy was found. Then Mommy and Daddy ran to her. They all cried together, and Daddy said something about going home, and Sammy cried even more. Yes, she wanted to go home. She wanted a bath, and I gotta find my place. She wanted a bath, and she wanted her mommy to hold her until she fell asleep in her own bed. She wanted to sleep and forget this ever happened, and she didn't ever want to go camping again. But the nightmare returned nearly every night. Nancy crawled into bed with Sammy and held her. Grandpa Harold returned. Grandpa Harold's ghost and his horse still chased her in her dreams. She hated going to bed at night, and she begged one more story, a glass of water, anything to postpone going to sleep. Sleep was where he chased her. She insisted a lamp be left on, and still he chased her. Nancy slept with her many nights, but still Grandpa Harold chased her. Other children in Gladstone, Colorado had stories about Grandpa Harold and his black and white steed. They loved telling the tales about how he saved them from freezing to death or stopped a bad person from hurting them. Sammy hated them and their happy ending story. Her experience with Grandpa Harold was horrible, and it was years before the nightmares came further and further apart. By the time she went to high school, she hardly dreamed about him. And by the time she started college, it was just a bad memory. Still, there was a residual fear that lingered, always in the back of her mind. She didn't ever want to feel like she did when she was a child and terrified to go to bed again. She learned to put it way back in the back of her thoughts. Compartmentalizing, she learned the word for it in college psychology. Still, life always has a way of bringing out our deepest, darkest fears out into the open. As a grown woman, a 3-year veteran of teaching 4th through 6th grade at Gladstone Elementary, it was her very own Uncle Hal, the mayor of Gladstone, Colorado, who did just that. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're really having a lot of fun writing it, the three of us. You know, we get on a chat thing that we have, and we have all of our documents on a Google share document thing, and we're really having a lot of fun putting it together. So once we get this thing published, I'm really excited about you getting a chance to read it too. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter if you're not already. The next one will come out in June, and lots of fun stories in there and opportunities for you to interact with me and make some decisions about where my next stories are going to come from. Updates and stuff like that you won't get anywhere else. Be sure that you follow my blog because you're going to get snippets. Just this past Saturday, I had a snippet Saturday where I showed 2 scenes from the first 2 books of this series, The Phantom Horse. And then as I'm getting stuff done with this Java Cupid, I'll be posting some things on it too. So again, if you're on that blog, if you're following the blog, you will get that information as well. Be sure and sign up for my readers group. That is a lot of fun, and it's like a book club, except it's on Facebook. And we get on there and we talk about just everything, you know. Post funny stuff, talk about characters, talk about what I'm writing. You can ask me questions and I'll answer them, and we're just friends getting together and we're interacting, and it's a lot of fun. So be sure that you sign up for that. And if you have any other questions, if there's anything else you want to know, post a comment and let me know what it is. I will address it next live, which will be Sunday at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. So until then, God bless you, and I hope to see you next Sunday.